The movie starts in 2563, where the society is significantly changed after the war from 300 years ago known as the Fall. Humanity is divided into two types of people, those who live in the flying city of Zalem and those less fortunate on the ground. Zalem throws its garbage onto the ground, and many people search the leftovers, hoping to find anything that can make their lives better. Now we see Dr. Dyson Ito. As he searches the garbage, he finds a girl robot's head and finds that her core is still working. He brings the head home with him and starts repairing it. He reattaches a new body to the girl's head, trying to get her back to life. The girl finally wakes up and is surprised to see her new body. She walks toward the mirror and starts looking at her new body with wonder. Now the girl goes downstairs and meets the doctor, who's happy to see her awake and starts to take care of the cyborg. After the long sleep, Dr. Ito gives the girl food, and as they talk, he finds out that the girl doesn't remember anything about her past, not even her name. The doctor takes her outside and shows her the city known as Iron City, and the girl sees the large hovering structure above the city. She wants to go there, but the doctor tells her that for the past 300 years, no one from the Iron City has been allowed to step into the city of Zalem. Now the doctor gives this girl a name and calls her Alita. It turns out the name of Ito's deceased daughter was Alita. The girl roams around the city, and she meets a young guy named Hugo and starts liking him. The boy promises to show her around the city. Hugo shows Alita the most popular game in the city called the Motorball, and Alita wants him to teach her the game. Now, Hugo introduces the girl to his friends, and they start playing the game. Alita is able to understand the game very quickly as they continue to play on the ground. Alita manages to steal the ball from one of the players while knocking the boy to the ground. Alita scores the point quickly, and everyone starts cheering her name. Hugo is also surprised to see her skills and advises her to play in the motorball competition. After that, Hugo takes her to his favorite place. From there, they can see the entire Iron City. Alita is amazed by how beautiful the city looks from above. Hugo tells Alita that he wants to go to Zalem, and he is ready to do whatever it takes to achieve this dream. Alita struggles to fall asleep at night because she is still thinking about Hugo. As she goes out, she notices that Dr. Ito is going out with a large suitcase. Out of curiosity, she starts to follow him. Alita sees that Ito is going to kill a woman by attacking her from behind the wall. Alita shouts and stops him from killing the woman, but notices that the woman has disappeared into thin air. Then a big man appears from behind the wall and starts calling Ito a hunter-warrior. After hearing this, Alita gets more confused. Another man jumped down from the rooftop and started threatening them. The doctor attacks the cyborg and cuts off one of his arms, but the cyborg strikes back and knocks Ito to the street. When Alita sees Ito in danger, she jumps on the enemy and kicks him to the ground. She started punching the cyborg's face repeatedly until the cyborg died. Now, the same woman appears as well, and it is revealed that she's also one of the assassins. She starts attacking Alita using her blades to kill Alita and slice her into pieces. Now, the assassin jumps toward Alita to launch an attack, but the girl kicks the opponent onto the wall. Now Alita kicks her on the head, breaking the woman's neck, and her body drops to the ground. After that, we see that the big man is a giant cyborg and tries to punch Alita using enormous power. Alita dodges the attack and quickly jumps onto the ceiling. She eventually jumps down and kicks the man that cuts off the man's arm in a single strike. She then attacks the man using Ito's hammer, forcing him to escape into the sewers. Now Alita goes to the collection center with the doctor, and Ito explains that instead of police, the factories pay bounty hunters to kill the criminals. Alita asks the doctor why he chooses to be a bounty hunter. Ito explains to her that he used to have a daughter named Alita, and a cyber robber killed her. Since that day, Ito has been trying to find the man who killed his daughter. He also tells her that his wife Chiron also left him after his daughter's death. Now we see that Chiron is trying to seduce a man named Victor because she also wants to go to Zalem. After all, it was her home once. The man promises her and tells her that if she gives him better players for the motorball game that he runs, he will send her to Zalem. Suddenly, a big man breaks into her room. It was the same man with whom Alita fought, and the criminal's name is Gruishka, and he works for Victor. Now Chiron comes to know from the cyborg that Ito has adopted a cyborg girl who has defeated his entire team all alone. As Chiron starts to repair the cyborg, he suddenly gets possessed by someone greater who speaks through him to her. Victor immediately recognizes this person as Nova, a powerful person from Zalem, who orders the couple to kill Alita and bring her body to him to perform experiments on it. After that, Nova possesses Victor and promises to return her to Zalem City if she does what he says. Meanwhile, Hugo takes Alita to the motorball arena, where she watches the players on the track killing each other as they try to possess the ball. She also knows that a player who beats everyone becomes champion and gets eligible to go to Zalem. Then suddenly, Hugo's friends arrive there and summons him to come to finish a job, and Hugo says goodbye to Alita. After that, we see that some boys attack a motorball champion, and they cut off the man's weapon by force. It turns out that the leader of this gang is Hugo, who also works for Victor and gives the man weapons in exchange for some cash. Now Victor reveals that he cannot let anyone become the final champion because no one is allowed to go to Zalem. The following day, Hugo brings Alita outside the city with his friends, where they finally reach the lake. Inside this lake, there is a massive warship. It turns out that the aircraft belongs to the United Republic of Mars, which attacked the city of Zalem 300 years ago. Alita immediately feels a relation with the ship. She jumps into the water to go inside the ship, hoping to find the truth about her past. Alita enters the ship and goes to the arms room, where she finds a metallic body. Sometimes later, Alita brings the body outside, and her friends look at it in wonder. The girl goes to Ito and tries to convince him to combine her with this new body. Ito refuses immediately, explaining that Alita is a Martian berserker programmed to destroy the Earth, and that's why he can't unite her with the body, as he doesn't want Alita to become a weapon again. Alita gets heartbroken by the doctor's mistrust, which encourages her to leave and find her way. Now Alita goes to the collection center and applies to become the bounty hunter. After that, she goes to the local bar with Hugo, where all the hunters gather and ask for their help to fight with Gruishka. But no one is willing to help her because there is no bounty on him. Now the girl understands that people with power are protecting him. A hunter warrior named Zapan tries to mock her, which quickly results in a fight, but Alita is able to defeat the man and kicks him in the face and tells him that he doesn't deserve the weapon that he carries, which is also Martian technology. Their conflict causes the other bounty hunters to become angry, and they start attacking Alita one after the other. Now Dr. Ito comes into the bar and stops everyone by threatening them not to give any more free repairs. As he speaks with Alita, the front door breaks open, revealing a giant man that appears to be Gruishka, who's got some upgrades. The man attacks Alita using his new weapons and forces the girl to fight. Gruishka instigates Alita to follow him as he jumps into the sewer. Alita chases behind, where she arrives into a large underground structure. She starts to attack the cyborg with her full energy and kicks him just like before, but fails to break the man's arm because of the upgrades. Now Gruishka launches his grind cutters, but she manages to dodge the attacks and kicks him right in the face. Gruishka's new weapons gave him an edge in the fight because he could attack Alita from a long distance. Alita launches a final attack as she jumps towards the giant man against many cutters heading her way, but her body gets cut into pieces before she can reach him. Gruishka approaches the girl as Alita tries getting up using one arm. With the last strike back, Alita jumps towards the giant using one arm and stabs the man right in the eye with her arm. Gruishka screams in pain and tries to kill Alita, but Ito, with another hunter, arrives there and makes the cyborg run for his life. Ito takes Alita back to the laboratory, where he fixes her using the Martian body because he can't see Alita getting hurt in the future. After watching the results, the doctor gets amazed as the girl reveals incredible abilities after this upgrade. Meanwhile, Nova comes to know that Gruishka has failed once again, so he decides to try a different strategy. He meets with Hugo and begins asking the man about Alita. He promises Hugo that if he convinces Alita to join the motorball competition, he will send him to Zalem. The next day, Hugo tries to persuade the girl to participate in the competition, telling her that she will make enough money for both of them to go to Zalem. Because Alita loves Hugo, so she agrees to everything that he is telling her. Meanwhile, Zapan is keeping an eye on them and plans to seek revenge from Alita for humiliating him. That night, Alita prepares to compete in the game with the help of the doctor, who warns her to be careful because the tournament can be very dangerous. She tells him not to worry because she feels very confident with her new berserker body. On the other side, Victor tells every player in the competition to kill Alita and promises to give the player a large amount of money for bringing him her head. Alita arrives at the track and waits for the game to start, but she notices the players are looking at her in anger and realizes that something is wrong. When the game begins, everyone begins attacking her and chasing her, but the girl quickly counters the attacks and kills many opponents. However, the players continue to chase her and attack her, ignoring the game completely, while Alita tries to survive their attacks one after the other. At the same time, Hugo runs into Zapan, who wants to kill him because he wants to take revenge on Alita. Zapan kills a cyborg and plans to frame Hugo, and a bounty appears under Hugo's name. Hugo tries to escape from Zapan and arrives on a bridge, where he calls Alita for help and tells her that he'll meet her at the church. After hearing this, Alita rushes outside the arena, and the other players are still after her. While going toward the church, Alita tries her best to avoid the attacker, but she gets slammed to the ground and gets captured by the players. The two players try to kill Alita, but she manages to break free, which causes the female assassin to be killed by her teammate. She then ties the final enemy using a metal chain and throws the chain into large gears that drag the cyborg into the machine and rip him into pieces. Alita makes it to Hugo just in time and stops Zapan from killing her friend. But Zapan tells her that there is a bounty on his head, which shocks the girl. Hugo tries to explain that he is being framed, but Alita doesn't want to forgive him after knowing he was stealing parts from cyborgs like her. Zapan stabs Hugo in the stomach, causing Alita to cry and rush in to save her friend. She takes Hugo into the church away from the hunter. Hugo apologizes to Alita and admits what he did was wrong. He tells her that he wants to quit this tonight as he realizes that he loves Alita. Chiron arrives in the church and sees the couple on the floor. Chiron's heart gets melted after watching their love for each other, so she changes her plan to capture Alita and plans to help them escape. After some time, Alita comes outside the church while carrying Hugo's head, but Zapan realizes she's keeping the man alive using her blood. Alita takes the hunter's sword and slashes Zapan's face, causing Zapan to scream in pain, and she saves Hugo, disguising him as her kill. Back at the laboratory, Ado saves Hugo by joining his head with a mechanical body and tells Alita how Victor was fooling Hugo from the beginning, since no one is allowed to go to Zalem except for the final champion of the motorball. Alita feels pity for Hugo's current situation and plans to make things right. To take revenge on Victor, she goes to his apartment, but her attempt is stopped by Gruishka, who strikes her in the torso using his grind cutter. However, it turns out that Alita's body has the ability to self-repair. She cuts the cyborg's cutters with her sword and cuts the man in half, finally killing him. She tells Victor that she wants to talk to Nova, and the man becomes possessed by Nova, and his eyes turn blue. Nova congratulates the girl for achieving so much, but warns her about his family and friends and tells her that her friends and family are not so strong as her. Alita kills Victor with anger and warns Nova not to underestimate her, but Nova tells Alita that he's looking forward to seeing her soon. Now she receives a message from Ito, who tells her that Hugo has gone by himself. He is trying to climb onto the Zalem through the tubes. Alita goes to Hugo as he tries to make it into Zalem and tells him that this is a trap set by Nova to kill them both. Hugo explains that he cannot live in the Iron City because there's a bounty on his head, and Zalem is his last option. The city's defense ring gets activated during their conversation and comes towards them at blazing speed. Hugo tries to jump over the ring but gets cut into pieces. Alita's able to catch Hugo at the last moment. However, Hugo's arm starts breaking apart, and he thanks Alita for saving his life and falls to his death, which causes the girl to scream in agony. After her friend's death, Alita competes in the motorball and becomes a candidate for the final champion. She goes onto the stage, where everyone is cheering for her name. Alita points her sword at Zalem, expressing that she will find Nova at any cost, and Nova looks back at her from the Zalem city. The movie ends here with this scene. To watch more explanations of movies, click on the videos on your screen. At last, I wish you a happy and healthy life. Thanks.